What is going on, guys? In this week's episode of Life as a Home Dealer, can I get this dead Corsa to actually run so I can put it for sale? I managed to sell the Rio, and that has given us 2 cars sold for the month with an appointment today at 3 o'clock. So there is a chance we hit our 4-car minimum target by next week's video. Then I did the dirtiest detail I've ever done. See how we get on with that one later in the episode, and there will be a full hour-long video on how I dealt with that next Wednesday. Also, we got accepted onto a new platform to buy cars, so I'm hoping we can get some more cars closer to trade price. I managed to get one, but you'll see that in next week's video. What is going on YouTube? So normally I start these videos on a Monday morning, but I'm Sunday afternoon. I've just finished editing last week's video, and I must be the most unlucky car dealer there is. So if you watched last week's video, or if you watched the video that came out on Wednesday, I spent 16 hours detailing the Vauxhall Corsa. It's a £1,500 car. It's got 85,000 miles on it. Retails for £3,000. I made it as close to immaculate as I could. It then just died. I have no idea why it died. I have no idea what's wrong with it. All I know is that tomorrow, Monday, somebody wants to see the Rio, no problem. I can just move the Kia and put that over there. But I've also got 2 people that want to potentially see the Hyundai, and the Corsa's blocked it in. So now we need to do some absolute shenanigans to get the i20 out. Once the i20 is out, I'll be able to get those cars ready for tomorrow's viewings, but it's got to be done today. So we're not having Sunday afternoon off. We're grafting. So this week's starting already with a headache. So help me out. Hit the subscribe button. Leave a like to show your support. And if you've got any advice, if you see something along the way that can help me out, comment in the description to help me figure out what's wrong with this car. So I think it might be a fuel pump or a crank position sensor. We'll find out. Joy. Formulated a little bit of a plan. I've moved the Kia around the corner and I've put the Rio up the side. Gives us all the space. With the Corsa, we'll jump inside. We'll connect the jumper back up to it so it doesn't just drain the battery. We'll try and fire it up, but it's not going to go. We'll try and listen for the fuel pump priming because I cannot hear it, but being a Sunday, the road is a little bit quieter. Able to hear it, so let's jump into the car. Let's connect up the jumper pack, jump in the car, and see what we can hear, if anything. And then we've got to, basically the plan, push it backwards off the driveway, get this one out, and then push the Corsa back where it is, so it's out the way. Absolute drama. Right, we're in the car. Let's turn the key. First click, nothing. I think I did hear the fuel pump then. It's hard to work out if that was the fuel pump or not. Let's wait for the traffic to go. This is the problem, you can't, oh, dropping it. You can't hear anything. No, it did sound like the fuel pump. But it still doesn't turn over. That was an absolute faff. So that is now out of the way. I can prep these two. So the Rio's ready because we had supposed to have a viewing last week. They didn't show up. So that one is good. And this one, I'm just going to wipe it down. Wet back the seats again. and make it fresh. So let's go over this one quickly with the wet vacs. Just make it fresh, nice, wipe it down, easy. But it's still super from when we actually detailed this. Tell them properly, they stay nice and shiny for a while. So let's get the wet vacs out. Let's start wet vacsing. Sunday fun day. Oh, nice day of rest. And there we have it, 2 prepped cars. 1, 2. So the smell of kind of dog in here is the reason why I just re-wet vaxed the seats. I didn't want to try, you can try and just smell perfume, but putting some Zaflora into the wet vacs and just re-wet vax, easiest, quickest way, simplest way to get it smelling good. So that's now going to run, and that is ready. Paintwork all waxed, this one the same, tyre gel, so they're done. A lot of you always ask what I use. So for the interior smell, I use Gentleman EZ Smell. For the exterior glass, I use Lotus. It's not really a window cleaner, it's a Rain-X, but it does a really good job. I use EZ's, smashed it on the floor, EZ's Gloss Plus Spray Wax. Obviously they look good. Doesn't really, I use it as like a quick detailer as well. And then I use at the moment Highline Tire Shine for all the plastics, engine bay and tyres. That's Auto Smart. So both of these are ready, so that's one problem done for this thing. If you haven't seen the video on this car, it is now immaculate. We did the brakes, we did the under seal, we literally cleaned this within an inch of its life, and now it's died. So I think tomorrow what the plan will be is I will get the fuel line coming from the back off and see if we've got fuel going to the injectors. If we've got fuel going into the fuel rail, when you crank it, then we know it's not the fuel pump, and then we can go from there. The issue we've got is there's no codes in the car, but I will get the dealership scanner just to see if my mini scanner doesn't pick it up, that maybe the main scanner will, because it cranks strong, it wants to go, but it just won't. And it's weird because the way that it was up on axle stands for 3 days. I got in it, fired it straight up, no problem, moved it over to out the way, cleaned it all out, hoovered it, started it again, took it to the park, did the pictures, did the video, then and obviously I turned it off and on there like 3 or 4 times. Then I went to the fuel station, got fuel, and then it was a bit smoky at the fuel station, I'm not gonna lie, there was a bit of smoke there, but turned it off, put fuel in it, turned it on, came back here, turned it off, came back out, turned it on, and then boom, dead, wouldn't go. So what's killed it, I don't know. If you guys know Vauxhall Corsas, no codes in the car, wants to fire but just won't turn over. But Monday morning we will crack straight on with that, 8 o'clock, see if we can figure out what it is. These are both ready, just check the paperwork over, give the office a little hoover so that's fresh. That's it. I will catch you guys in the morning ready to sell some cars. That's the aim this week, nothing else. Sell. I'll see you in the morning. I'm going to enjoy, what, 4 hours of my Sunday. So it is Monday, and now we got to figure out what is going on with this Corsa. So there's a few common faults, and I messaged the workshop yesterday, and they basically gave me some places to start. Now, the coil packs on these can go due to water getting down into the coil packs. We did jet wash this engine, so is it me that I've got water down in the coil packs? They've died. So we're going to whip those out, because that's the easiest thing to start with, to see if it is just the fact that the connection on the coils is not very good. I've also ordered a spark plug remover, so we might just pull the spark plugs out if that arrives in time today. We'll get the spark plugs pulled out and checked to see if they're covered in corrosion, because we might need to order coil packs, and it's one unit on these, coil pack unit and a set of spark plugs. Failing that, we're going to check that we've got fuel. So we've got spark and it's not all corroded and it doesn't look too bad. We're going to check fuel, so we'll pull the fuel line off, go into the fuel rail, and we'll crank it over. If we're getting fuel, we know we've got spark, we know we've got fuel. Then there is a crank position sensor. Now that, right at the back of the engine, and I won't be able to do it here because you need to jack the car up and get from underneath, which means we've got to try some shenanigans to get it over there. So let's crack on, and I'll show you basically from the engine side, it's not cranking. But I think I just heard the fuel pump again, so stress, but we're going to work through it methodically and we're going to figure this out. If you guys see anything, put it in the comments and hopefully we get this sorted today. Oh, I've just attached my jump surge, so it has got a live, it needs to go on charge, but there we go. So let me try and crank it over and you'll see exactly what I mean. So as you can see, it just does not want to turn over. It's got strong crank. So let's whip off this coil unit and see if we can see any corrosion or any signs that that might be the fault. Failing that, we'll whip off the rail. So let's jump on it. I'm gonna guess that they have been fairly recently. As I say, I haven't got the tool to pull the spark plugs out yet, but these look quite good condition. This looks quite new, to be honest. So was there a fault with the car and they've already replaced this? Because that looks fairly new. I'll pull these rubbers off and we'll check the actual connectors. So these are definitely new. Still doesn't turn over, so let's see if we're getting fuel. Let's pull the fuel. So if the injectors are 1, 2, 3 and 4, this fuel rail here should be the feed. We've eliminated the coils, we've eliminated the fuel, so it can only really be the crank position sensor. So I'm going to get one of those ordered now. It's going to be a couple of hours before that arrives, and figure out how I get this up in the air to change it. There is this, so maybe I can just get it forward and crank it up here. We'll cross that bridge later on. Never easy, is it? Never easy, but stay positive, we're going to figure this out. We've already ruled out two things. Battery's good because it's got power on it. Coils are good, they're all new. And the fuel is definitely getting to the injectors, so it's not that it's not getting fuel. We carry on. The next job, whilst I wait for that crank position sensor to come into the garage, is to swap this parking sensor. I've already messed about with this a couple of times, working, and then it would stop working. So I've just ordered a replacement one, and hopefully I'm just going to swap this out. Parking sensor malfunction over with, because right now you put it in reverse and it just beeps constantly. Let's see if we can do this. Last time getting this out made me cry. I don't want to cry. Once you've done it once, it's very easy to do it twice, isn't it? The first time did not go that easy. I'm just going to see if we can put it in reverse. If that shouldn't, I mean, where it goes is where it goes. That maybe doesn't trigger the old beepy beepy, do my absolute nutting. And plus, who wants to buy a car with parking sensors that doesn't have a parking sensor? Nobody ever wants to buy a car that's got a fault. Here we go. Moment of truth. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Still beeping. Let's pull the... It's slightly better. Let's pull the other one off and see what that does. So, the one that was originally in there is now in there. The faulty one, I believe, was the left one. That was not fun. Let's give this another shot. Positive vibes. We're going to fix something today. I've just spoke to the workshop. If I can't get that crank position sensor done, they just told me to recover it to them. So, here we go. Fire it up. Please. Okay. Okay. And move away. So we have fixed something. One win. Small win. My gloves are destroyed. My wrists are definitely in agony. But that's one thing that's been annoying me for a couple of days. And all it was a little parking sensor. £29. Problem solved. So now I've got to start getting this Corsa jacked up. How we do that over there, it's gonna be dangerous, but we've got to figure a way to do it safely. So let's get the jacks out and get that somehow safe. Slight change of plan. The Rio, somebody's coming over in half an hour, and I don't want the Corsa jacked up on axle stands with me underneath it covered in oil when there's somebody coming. I just like to present nicer. So after they've gone, we'll then jack the Corsa up. I still might have a viewing on the i20 this afternoon, but I'm waiting for him to call whether he can make it over. But I have also had two phone calls today on the i20, so it's safe to say that we might manage to get the Rio, the i20 done. Corsa, it needs to be fixed before it can be advertised, so we're going to get that done today, tomorrow. Some dealership work on Wednesday, they've just messaged, and we've got dealership work on Friday. So we've got 2 cars to do for the dealer. We're going to hopefully sell 2 cars, and then we're going to need to buy 2 cars. So later this week, we might actually bid on some cars on the auction, which will be quite fun. But yeah, I'm just giving you guys an update, but I'll catch up with you after the viewings. So I almost forgot to update you. It's been a bit of a busy afternoon. They did buy the Rio, so that is sold. The i20 was a no-show, and the Corsa, I'm 99% sure that that is the crank position sensor. I've done some more research, and they just die all the time on these Corsas apparently. Never had it, but I've never had one with 85,000 miles on it. So this week is going to be very busy. We've got dealer work tomorrow. We've got to get this crank position sensor sorted tomorrow. And we're on half term, so the kids also want to go swimming and do stuff. So this week for me is going to be very, very busy. But I'll catch up with you guys in the morning. So good night. So it is now 5:10. The day got away from me, fully got away from me. So it's about as safe as I'm going to get that. I got 3 jack stands. I'm going to leave the jack in place. It's on gravel, but I've got not much choice, so we're gonna have to wing it. 8mm socket and try and get that off. I'm not gonna try and film it. There's 2 or 3 videos. It's an absolute nightmare. So I will see you after I get that out. The work for tomorrow. It's actually pretty clean. It's an 18 plate car. So other than Nia leaving her rubbish in there, that's clean. Don't know what this is, so we'll definitely, is it glue? Is it lacquer peel? Few little scratches. So I'll be up bright and early to get that done, but according to every video on YouTube on doing this crank sensor, it takes over an hour because it's fiddly, or it takes 15 minutes because it's easy. So I'll see you in 15 minutes, or I'll see you in an hour. I genuinely have no idea how this is going to go, and I'm dreading it. This is the life. Trying to fix them yourself. I'm learning, so it's good, but also it's not that fun. Let's see in a bit. That was a little bit fiddly, but it wasn't horrific, so I've got it off. And here is the old one. Can't really see. Does look fairly old, so I'm guessing it hasn't had one recently. And here is the fresh one. So let's get this in, see if it solves my problem or not. It's all done, came out, went in really easily, no fighting. Took 20 minutes, and now it is the moment of truth. I went swimming earlier, so my hair is puffy. Right, here we go. Here we go. Please, 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 please. 3, 2, 1. We have a serious problem. Not a serious problem. I cranked it over and drained the fuel out, so maybe there was air. It's running. That would be the reason, because I took the fuel from the fuel rail, then there would have been no fuel. It would have cranked on air for the injectors, a couple of extra cranks, and it now runs. A little bit smoky, but it runs, so now I can get it to the garage. It's booked for an MOT anyway, so I'll take it over to the workshop and they'll check over the car and make sure it's all good. Let's cut out again. What is wrong with this car? So I've got no choice now other than to recover it back to the workshop and they can figure out, because it did go, so that sensor obviously must have helped it slightly, but I don't know. Stupid thing. So I'm going to leave this here and I'll catch up later in the video with what that is. Good morning, we are up and active. Just snow foamed up the engine bay. We're going to get that done, so I'm going to crack on with that car. Wednesday, it's not going to be any, there's plenty of detailing videos, so I'm just going to crack on and get this done. This thing kept me up a bit late last night, but I just need to think like it's an opportunity for me to learn about faults and problems and grow my knowledge. So rather than thinking it's a broken car, wow wow wow, it's a great opportunity to learn diagnosing things and figuring things out. So I'm going to take that as a school day. Tomorrow I'm going to get the computer and we're going to dive into what's going on with that. I've got 3 cars earmarked at the auction going through today at 4 o'clock, so we'll see if I get those. But for now I'm going to clean a car and I'll see you guys maybe later this afternoon if we win a car. Or I also reapplied for Motorway last night. Now we've been set up and everything's organised, I thought let's see if I can get on there. So I've sent the application again to Motorway, see if they accept it. But yeah, I'm rambling, so I'll catch you guys later. I'm going to crack on and do some work and we'll see where we end up. So I'm in the middle of this detail and I got a phone call last night. In my misery, I thought I'm going to apply it for Motorway again, because we're now set up as a dealer, the website, everything's fully operational. Maybe they'll say yes now, because they said no, they've got to wait 6 months and everything else. But I've just got a call. We are live on Motorway. We've just got to activate our account at some point today, but I can finally get into the Motorway system, allowing me to buy cars again from private sellers. So the way that Motorway works is you put in a sealed bid, and if you have agreed to pay more than the other dealers that have bid, you then win the car. You go to the house, you fully inspect the car, test drive, negotiate the price if you're not happy with obviously something on the car, and then you get to pay for it through the Motorway system and take the car away. So it is a brilliant way. That's how we do it at the dealership as well. So I am having a celebratory cup of coffee because that is the best news I've had. It's just such a relief. So we're going to be activating that, so tomorrow we can definitely have a look on there to see if there's any cars. I'm so happy. These are the small things that I thought that I'd have to wait till April, but now we're going to be set up in end of February. Yes! This is a big win. This is a big win. Right, I'm gonna crack on. We've still got the front to do. Back's the car, done. Got to polish it. And this, I had to unscrew all of these to clean them all out. So, needless to say, that was fun. But yeah, it's a good day. Very good day. Thursday fun day, or at least that's what I'm calling it today. So I've got the computer from the workshop, and basically they've told me what tests I need to try and run, so I should be able to check if we are getting signal from the crank position sensor, and hopefully it will get more results than the little top-down scanner. But previously when scanning cars, I didn't get any more results using a better one than the top-down one, so I'm skeptical whether we're going to get any results, but positive mindset, we're going to check. What I have also been doing this morning is I finally logged in to Motorway. So we are live. The account's not fully set up yet, but safe to say we're going to have access to a hell of a lot more cars closer to trade prices. I mean, who the hell is going to buy that with 160,000 miles on it? Nobody. There was 2 cars that I shortlisted. Another i20, obviously I love them, and then a Focus. Says no bids on the Focus, and then obviously 6 bids on that. So we probably wouldn't have won this one because dealers will pay slightly more than I will, and we're literally just waiting for account, bidding unavailable. They're just processing our information. So it's not all doom and gloom as much as this Corsa is definitely living rent-free inside my head right now. It's cars, you know, this is the nature of buying and selling cars. And better that this happened to me now than when we sold it and then the customer had this experience, because that would just be god-awful. So, let's get outside. Let's get plugged in. It's raining today, but we're just plugging it in. Here goes nothing. Let's go. Just got the computer out of the car, and all of these cars that I've got are mega detailed. They look amazing, right? This is what she drives around in. Tramp. Right, so I gotta clean that at some point next week, haven't I? Give me something to do. Like I haven't got enough. So we are now in my promo vehicle, and I call it a promo vehicle because when people come around they see how clean and how nice and how shiny it is. So it's all it's good for. Let's get this scan going. See if we can find some codes. I'm so optimistic. I'll just try and start it. No. Intelligent diagnosis, reading the VIN. So this will take a second, so we just gotta wait, and then we will see. Loads of codes in there for the canvas. I've cleared them all and nothing come back. I've now connected the jumper pack up so it's got battery voltage, and we're now 78% through a scan. We got one code come. The body control module just came back, so maybe that's the fault with the car. Okay, so 2 faults, canvas malfunction. So is it a body control module? So now I'm going to send this information over to the workshop and they will tell me what the next step is. But now time for a bit of research, because that obviously has came back. Got another disaster detail, and when I say this one's probably worse than the i20, way worse than the Corsa, because the Corsa was just a bit of a project, this one is disgusting. We have got to transform this muddy, dirty, caked car. Just look at the steering wheel. In back to as close to brand new as we can get it. we've got 24 hours and it's got to be back at the dealership. So let's stop chatting, let's get everything out and let's get this car absolutely spotless. What I do to bring you these videos. So it's wet, everything's wet. The car is now cleaned after the clay bar. All it needs now is a polish. We've got off the tree sap, so obviously that is now ready to be polished. Engine bay's done, door shuts look lovely and clean and ready. Obviously we tried to blast out these seals as much as we could, save us some time. So the next job is to strip all of this interior that we can into the kitchen and then start cleaning it. So let's get it all out. So it's now pitch black, but we're done. Oh, I'm gonna just crack on inside, get everything cleaned up, and then tomorrow morning we're literally jumping to the inside. If it is raining, just put the hoover in the boot, close the boot, so you haven't got to worry about the rain. It's nasty, absolutely nasty. Right, I'm gonna have me dinner and then all is gonna go inside. Some nice homework. Everything is now inside, ready just before dinner. I forgot about the Corsa. So the battery is now fully charged. It's been disconnected from the car, so everything is drained. This is my last hope. If this doesn't get this car to start, I have to give up and leave it to the professionals. So let's get everything buttoned up and see what happens. It's nice to sit down. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Fail. What could it be? So basically we got the Formula 1 promo on and we're just gonna work through this. I'm gonna use this square and do piece by piece. And this, look at this. This is that sticky. What is that? Let's crack on because it's gone 7. Not fun. gone 9:30. Everybody's asleep. Sleepover in the office, which is why we got kicked out to the living room. So everything is now wet vaxed, cleaned, and all ready to go back in tomorrow. And the seats. And I had to wet vax the floor. So that's that at 9:30. I started at 3, so it's not too bad. And I'm gonna go get some sleep, and tomorrow we'll tackle the interior. See you in a bit. Friday morning. So if you're watching the Wednesday video, we're just gonna jump straight outside. If you're watching the Sunday video, we have put some bids on Motorway, so we'll find out what happens with those at 3:30 this afternoon. The interior is all done. It's ready to go back in, and we've just got to get that interior done this morning. It is skanky, so let's get some gloves. Let's get to work. So that's both sides done. Now my plan is the dash is not done. My plan is to crack on and get the exterior done, because it is going to take a while and the weather is definitely not going to hold. But we've got everywhere pretty much done except for the dash, but I can do the dash if it starts raining inside. So let's get all the polishes out, get this car wiped down, and we're going to start with the damaged areas. So we'll do these 2 back quarters and then work around. Those are the bits to work on. So working outside, the rain has just started spitting, so we're gonna have to give up with the polishing. I want to see if I can quickly get this bit done the other side has come out just perfect. Obviously we're using the Diamond 3000 from Cartech, and this stuff I don't actually know where this came from. It would have been left over at the dealership, but no scratch in the door. That is gleaming, other than a little bit of touch up that we'll have to do in there. No problems. You can see already the gloss difference. Right, that's getting worse, Range. Right, I'm going to put everything away so nothing gets soaked, and then we'll figure out what we're doing. Rain doesn't look like it's slowing down. If anything, it's getting worse. So the plan's going to have to be, we're going to have to put the interior back in, and then I'm going to have to figure out a way to get the car under some form of cover. I can't get a gazebo today, I've had a look, but that is stupid. My own fault, because I knew this could happen, and I knew I was going to need a gazebo. And it's raining again, so we got most of the car polished. There's the rear bumper and the passenger door, so we just got to keep going. As I said, your wet, muddy footprints are definitely going to end up going inside, so don't make it perfect. Got the back benches in, got the driver's seat back in, so let's get the back row in, the driver's seat, and then we can start putting the boot all back together, and it will get a final once over, dress all the plastics, glass, and we can get this back to them and make this car their problem, because I am really not having fun. Love the rain. 13 hours, it is done. I'm gonna show you, but I don't want to go out there. So the damage came out and that's all being polished in between rain showers, and at one point I put a picture here. This was how we had to polish the rear bumper under an umbrella. This is monsoon. What I'm gonna do is wait. I need to get you some footage, but if I go out there, I'm just gonna get even more wet. That was not a fun day. I am soaked through. The rain just won't stop, but the car's done. I charged 150 on that one because it was more, and then we got a video out of it, so you guys enjoy those as well. So all in all, not too bad. 13 hours. The two cars on Motorway, we didn't win them, so it's kind of, I lost one by £1. That's very annoying. But I'll show you that in a second. I'm just gonna go and drop this one off and pick up another one, and then we're pretty much going to wrap up the week. So I'll see you in the office where we can finalise the week. Next week we're going to do P&L, see if we've made any money. With this ornament, that's still here, and I've got nothing to replace it with. We're not looking too rosy right now. We'll figure that out later. I finally dried off and warmed up. Dealership work is super hard work, but it keeps the bills paid. That's £390 this week that I would not have had if I didn't do those jobs. So, is what it is. Just got to suck it up and say thank you for the opportunity more than anything. Now, Motorway. Today I bidded on two cars. I would have liked to win them both. I lost the Fabia by £1 and the Citroen by £90. So Motorway only has 7,500 dealers on there, so it is less saturated than the auctions, and you can only get on there if you're a dealer. And I was speaking to another car dealer earlier, and he was like, I'm surprised you got on there. And I was like, thanks very much. Well, you know, we're trying. So it's another way to get stock, and basically every day I'm just going to log in, see what's decent, and then buy. And also what you've got, so you've got the live sale has ended, we can check the stock later, but you have got buy it now. And if I put to nearest to me, you can buy these, but like this one, I had a look at this yesterday, it needs paint on the rear quarter. Absolutely battered. So, and then obviously the same way that you get valuations, so they reckon it's worth 3. They want 137. It's just not worth. I don't think this has got much service history as well. Yeah, no service history. So you can do buy it nows, but I've done a couple over the years, but there's never. It's kind of what doesn't sell is left here in the pot. So hopefully tomorrow I can put some bids in and we can get some cars through Motorway. And that's it. That is Friday done. There's going to be this video done, I think, because tomorrow to Mercedes B-Class it's quite clean, so there's nothing really to film there. We sold one this week. I've got another viewing on Sunday. We've got onto Motorway this week. Mega week for that. That should help me out so much because it gives me another. We've got BCA, we've got Motorway, we've got Dealermetrics. So we've got multiple ways now of getting cars. So we should always be able to find something. Not that I've been looking all week, but yeah, it's been a tough week. But every week's a tough week. I don't know why I keep saying that it's been a tough week. We just got to crack on. Next week we've got sort of Corsa out. Let's get them recovered to the workshop. So we've got 2 cars that don't run, the TT and the Corsa. They've both got to be sorted next week, one way or another. If you've liked, thank you very much. If you've subscribed, thank you even more. And I will see you guys in the next week's episode of Life of a Home Dealer.